So here today we have this wonderful build. This guitar is beautiful. It is fantastic. It's like a big piece of furniture. It is something else. It's all one piece of walnut entirely. So what I mean by that is that the neck and the body is all one piece of wood completely. Now the truss rod mounts through the back. I think you can see a skunk stripe back there. There's a skunk stripe back there. It has a tilt back headstock. It has a 12 radius, stainless steel frets. It is, there's a back glued on, okay? You can see it right there. It's chambered out. It's a semi-hollow guitar. Here, let me get this under here. I don't want to scratch it up too bad. It's semi-hollow in there, so I routed it all around this edge here. It's underneath it, you can't, well, not up here, but here, all the way to here. So I'll routed all of this in here. It ends there somewhere because I couldn't get up there because of the pick guard drops in. It's also a piece of walnut. It has Walnut William Wiggins brand pickups. Now these pickups are awesome because they're mounted in carbon fiber frames and they don't have any metal in the holding the pickup together. Carbon fiber frames and wooden bobbins made of walnut. And there is no bar magnet in these pickups. There's just two single coil Strat pickups wired as a humbucker. That's how that works. This guitar is amazing. It has a booster in here. And this is a 5, 10, 15, or 20 decibel booster from China. And this is volume and tone. It's got a 3-way position switch and 25 stainless steel frets. It has, as you can see, it has the Holy Grail on fret 12. This is the Holy Grail series that our company, Rushmore Custom Guitars, makes. It has the Spurzel locking tuners in there, as you can see. These are the best tuners, in my opinion. The string goes down into the headstock, comes out the other side. You snip them off over there. And it gives you a nice downward angle. You don't have to have any locking nut. This is the locking nut. And this is the Holy Grail bridge from Wood Tone Products. The Wood Tone Holy Grail from the UK, which has KTS titanium saddles on it. And it is just fantastic. Solid steel. I don't know what them boys doing over there in the UK, but they make the best sounding tremolo out of all the Fender knockoffs. Better than the Callahan. And I use Callahan on several guitars I have. But I think this is the best sounding steel that I've heard. It has a thicker top plate because behind the set screw, you see that little indentation? That keeps the top of the plate from touching the screw head, so there's no interference when you're whammying the tremolo. When you whammy the tremolo down, it does not touch the screw head and keeps it really nice and stable in there. The tuning is fantastic on it, as you're about to hear. We're playing through the Fender Twin over there, the Cyber Twin, and it's in the British setting, which is their version of Marshall or Vox or whatever it is. I'm not sure. I think it's Marshall. But anyway, the Cyber Twin is a 2012 SE second edition for all those who are wondering what that is. So let's give this thing a listen and we'll see how it sounds. Now, out of all the guitars I've built, I would say this one is the best one. The slab guitar is very present, huge in every way, bottom, middle, top. Sorry, I didn't have the volume all the way up. tuning on the whammy is second to no other Fender tremolo that I've ever, Fender style, vintage style tremolo, non-locking. The KTS titanium saddles, they are brighter than the steel. I think I'm going to go to the steel saddles to give it a little more warmth. But I like the cut. I have an argument with Charlie, my friend, amp maker Charlie Plate. He says, don't take the titanium off. It sounds great. And I'm torn between the two. I can always put them back on, but I think I'm going to go with the Wilkinson saddles, the locking saddles. This is a neck pickup. This is in between the two pickups in the middle there. That's a beautiful thing about this guitar. This is the sound of Walnut. Now, guys on here, the wood doesn't affect the sound. Well, everything affects the sound. The construction technique affects the sound. The hardware affects the sound. Pickups got the most effect on the sound. And so the combination of all above creates your sound. So especially two things, pickups and construction technique. Neck throughs sound different than bolt-ons. And wood is the 10% factor. But the final result of everything is your sound. So to say that wood doesn't affect it is like retarded. Of course it does, to some degree. Depending on how much gain you use also. if you're playing cleaner through your amplifier with less preamp distortion, more natural distortion, like an old Marshall or an old twin reverb or something, then the tone wood shines through more than if you're playing through a Mesa Boogie rectifier, which is like tone killers. Or if you're using like EMG pickups, forget about the wood. It doesn't matter. Once you get into those high output pickups, then it's all about the pickup. The higher the output pickup, the less about tone woods it's going to be. So it's more microphonic, the pickup, in the sense of picking up what the string is vibrating on, cleaner and more wood tone transparent at lower output pickups. And you can really hear that with single coil pickups a lot better too than humbuckers. Humbuckers are mud. They're mud pirates. They muddy up the sound. And some people really like that warmth that the humbuckers give. These are humbuckers, but they don't sound like humbuckers. I have them wired also in single coil as well. So this is single coil right here. Sloppo, Mr. Sloppy. Can't seem to get that Uli Roth right there. I'm trying to. Relax my picking hand. Almost got to stand up and play that. have to practice it and make a good video of that. I just picked up the guitar, but anyway, you get the general idea. So the this bridge, this steel bridge by Woodtone Holy Grail is the name of the company, and they're out of the UK, and it is just fantastic. It stays right in tune with this little modification they do. Now this plate here, the top plate is thicker than a Fender because they do this little indentation behind the screw. I only have 2 screws in it. It's all that it needs. I could put all the screws in there if I wanted, but I don't. I just use it like a 2-poster, and it works fine. Like 10 through 46 on this guy, and it is just fantastic. All I got to do is get my chops up. I haven't played in 2 weeks. I just picked up the guitar. I just wanted to make a demo of it and talk about the construction techniques. And I went with 25 frets because you know, a lot of songs are in the key of D. I think there's not that many songs in the key of C sharp. So for the blues box up there, you know, I wanted to get, you know, the key of D in there for the blues box. If I can get that up there. You know, if you're playing whatever, the Sweet Home Alabama or whatever, in the key of G, but there's a lot of soloing in D. So if you want a solo in the key of D and several different songs, you gotta have the frets to do it. So D opens up a whole nother aspect of soloing. Of course, you could go to 27 frets. I have several guitars with 27 frets for open E box, blues box whip, and that sounds fantastic. I have a couple of Flying V's that go to 31 frets and 29 frets for hitting up an A, so soloing up an A, so it's fantastic. But I mean, the guitar just sounds so good. It is so amazing. Lots of sustain with this construction technique, and then I got a booster on here. So the booster's so cool, man. I mean, it's just like it's instant Hendrix. Gives you instant Jimi Hendrix. It's a clean boost. Here's without it. This is bypass. This is 5 decibels. 10 decibels. This is 15 decibels. 20 decibels. So it just opens up for soloing. It's a booster, like if you had a booster on the floor to boost your line level going in to the front end of the amplifier. And it just brings, it's instant Hendrix. You're Jimi Hendrix all of a sudden, out of nowhere. Fantastic. And it's Walnut, all in one piece. If I didn't say that, I think I did. And it is just beautiful. And it is just a fantastic build. Lots of sustain. Gorgeous, beautiful, man. This thing just kills it. It's just a monster. Beautiful tone. It's a little bright with the KTS titanium saddles. I'd probably go to the Wilkinson. Wilkinson has a locking set screw on top, and you can lock the string in place. It also helps with the tuning. Not that this thing stays right in tune. Not that this thing needs a tuning, needs them, but every little thing helps. You know what I mean? I think the steel will not be quite as bright as the titanium, and that might. I'm gonna try it. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna try it. I can always put the KTS back on. There's nothing wrong with them. KTS, as a matter of fact, on Limba and on mahogany, for instance, guitars is perfect because it brightens up what mahogany and Limba. They're not as bright as walnut or maple. So yes, the EQs are affected by the wood. I know guys are just freaking out because they don't understand the pickups and all that. They got too high output pickups, so they can't hear any difference in the tone. These are not high output pickups, so that's it's cleaner.